Imagine this, a single penny, just 1 cent, something most people don't even bother to pick up anymore. But what if I told you that one specific penny from 1944 could be worth over $1 million? Sounds impossible, right? Well, this is the story of the 1944 wheat penny, one of the most famous and most wanted coins in the world, and by the end of this video, you might rush to check every coin you own. Let's begin. The year 1944 was right in the middle of World War II. During this time, the United States was facing a shortage of copper because it was needed for war equipment like ammunition and wiring. So in 1943, the U.S. Mint made pennies out of steel instead of copper, but in 1944, everything changed again. The Mint returned to using copper, but not just any copper. They actually used recycled shell casings from the war to make the 1944 pennies. That means, every 1944 wheat penny is not just money, it's a piece of history. Now let's talk about how this coin looks. On the front, you'll see the face of Abraham Lincoln. On the back, there are two wheat stalks surrounding the words, 1 cent, which is why it's called the wheat penny. Simple design, but incredibly important. Now here's where things get crazy. Millions of 1944 pennies were made, so most of them are common, but a very small number of these coins were accidentally struck on the wrong metal, instead of copper. A few 1944 pennies were made using leftover steel planchets from 1943. And this is the $1 million secret. These rare coins are known as the 1944 steel wheat penny, and they are extremely rare. In fact, only a handful are known to exist. Because of this, collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands, even over $1 million for one of these coins in perfect condition. Yes, you heard that right. A mistake turned into a fortune. Now imagine this. You find a 1944 penny. How do you know if it's the valuable one? Here are the key details you must check. First, look at the color. Normal 1944 penny is copper, so it should look brown or reddish, but if your coin looks silver or gray like steel, stop, you might have something rare. Second, try the magnet test. Steel coins are magnetic. So if your 1944 penny sticks to a magnet, that is a huge sign that it could be extremely valuable. Third, check the weight. A normal copper 1944 penny weighs about 3.11 grams, but a steel penny weighs around 2.7 grams. That small difference could mean thousands or even millions of dollars. Fourth, look for mint marks. You might see a small letter under the date, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, no letter for Philadelphia. All three mints have rare versions, but some are even more valuable depending on condition and rarity. Now let's talk about value. A normal 1944 copper wheat penny, in average condition, it's worth maybe 10 to 50 cents. In uncirculated condition, it can go up to $5 to $50 or more. But a 1944 steel wheat penny, that's a completely different story. These coins have sold for $100,000, $500,000, and even close to $1 million depending on condition and grading. That's why this coin is known as America's most wanted wheat penny, because people all over the world are still searching for it. But here's the twist. Most people who have valuable coins don't even know it. Coins get passed down, stored in jars, or forgotten in drawers for years, which means the next rare 1944 steel penny could still be out there, waiting to be found. Maybe in your house, maybe in your pocket, maybe in an old coin collection you've never checked. So before you ignore another penny, take a closer look, because that one small coin could change your life forever. Imagine this, a simple old coin, lying forgotten in a drawer, or maybe hidden inside your pocket right now. But what if I told you that this tiny piece of copper could be worth hundreds of thousands, even close to $1 million? Yes, today we are talking about the 1946 wheat penny, a coin that most people ignore, but collectors are desperately searching for. So before you skip this video, make sure you watch till the end, because you might be holding one of the most valuable coins without even knowing it. Let's begin. The year 1946 was a very important time in history. World War II had just ended, and the United States was transitioning back to normal life. During the war, pennies were even made from steel in 1943 because copper was needed for war supplies. But in 1946, the U.S. Mint returned to using copper again. That's where the 1946 wheat penny comes in. This coin features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, and on the back, you'll see two wheat stalks surrounding the words, 1 cent, which is why it's called the wheat penny. Now here's something most people don't know. even though millions of these coins were made. Not all 1946 pennies are the same. Some rare versions, with small errors or special conditions, can be worth a fortune. Let's talk about the details. The weight of a standard 1946 wheat penny is about 3.11 grams. It is made mostly of copper, with a small amount of tin and zinc. Its diameter is around 19 millimeters. Sounds normal, right? But here's where things get interesting. Some 1946 wheat pennies have mint marks that if you look just below the date, you might see a small letter, D. Means it was minted in Denver. S means it was minted in San Francisco. No letter means it was minted in Philadelphia. Now, why does this matter? Because certain mint marks, combined with rare errors, can increase the value dramatically. Let's talk about the real money. A normal 1946 wheat penny in average condition might only be worth a few cents, maybe up to $1, but if you have one in uncirculated condition, meaning it looks almost brand new, it can be worth $50 to $500 or more. Now here's the shocking part. Some rare error coins, like double die errors, off-center strikes, or coins with unusual metal composition, have been sold for thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars, and in extreme cases, when a coin is in perfect condition with a rare mint error, collectors have paid prices that go unbelievably high, approaching that million-dollar dream value. That's why people are still searching for this coin today. But wait, it gets even more interesting. Many people don't realize that valuable coins are still in circulation. Yes. That means someone could unknowingly spend a rare coin at a shop, or keep it in a jar at home. So how do you know if your 1946 penny is valuable? Here are a few things to check. First, look at the condition. If the coin is shiny, with very little wear, it could be valuable. Second, check for mint marks, especially D and S coins in high grade. Third, look for errors, double letters, misprints, or unusual shapes. Fourth, weigh the coin. If the weight is slightly off, it could be something special. And finally, if you think you have something rare, get it checked by a professional coin grader, because one small detail could change everything. Now imagine this. You go home today, check your old coins, and suddenly you find a 1946 wheat penny that looks different. That moment could literally change your life. That's why collectors call it a hidden treasure in plain sight. So before you leave this video, go right now, check your pockets, check your drawers, check your old coin collections. Imagine this: you're cleaning your room, going through an old drawer, and suddenly you find a small, dusty coin. You almost throw it away, but what if that coin is actually worth thousands, or even close to $1 million? Sounds crazy. Well, today, we are uncovering the truth about the 1951 wheat penny, a coin that looks ordinary, but could be hiding extraordinary value. And trust me, what you're about to learn might make you check every coin you own. Let's begin. The 1951 wheat penny was minted in the United States during a time when the country was growing rapidly after World War II. This coin is part of the famous wheat penny series, which started in 1909 and ended in 1958. On the front of the coin, you'll see Abraham Lincoln, one of the most iconic presidents in American history. On the back, there are two wheat stalks surrounding the words, 1 cent, giving this coin its name, the wheat penny. Now at first glance, the 1951 penny doesn't seem rare at all. Millions of these coins were produced, but here's where things get interesting. Not all 1951 pennies are equal. Some versions, especially those with rare mint marks, high-grade condition, or unique minting errors, can be worth a lot of money. Let's break it down. The 1951 wheat penny was minted in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a small D; San Francisco, marked with a small S. Each version has its own value, but collectors pay the most attention to coins that are in perfect condition or have rare features. Now let's talk about the technical details. The coin weighs about 3.11 grams. It is made mostly of copper, with small amounts of tin and zinc. Its diameter is approximately 19 millimeters. These details may sound simple, but even a small difference in weight or design can make a huge difference in value. Now here comes the part everyone is waiting for. How much is a 1951 wheat penny really worth? In average circulated condition, it's usually worth a few cents to maybe $1, but if you have a coin in uncirculated condition, meaning it looks almost brand new, no scratches, full shine, its value can jump to $10, $50, even $100 or more. Now hold on, because this is where things get exciting. there are rare error coins from 1951 that collectors are desperate to find, for example, double die errors, where the letters or numbers appear slightly doubled off center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned clipped planchets, where a part of the coin is missing due to a minting mistake. These errors can turn a normal penny into something extremely valuable. Some rare 1951 error pennies have been sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, and in extremely rare cases, when the coin is in near perfect condition with a unique error, the value can skyrocket toward that million-dollar dream. That's why collectors never stop searching. Now imagine this: a coin sitting in your home right now, ignored for years, could actually be a hidden treasure. So how do you check if your 1951 penny is valuable? Here are the steps you need to follow. First, check the condition. The cleaner and shinier the coin, the higher the value. Second, look for the mint mark. D and S coins can sometimes be more valuable depending on rarity. Third, search for errors. Look closely at the date, letters, and edges. Fourth, weigh the coin. If it's different from 3.11 grams, you might have something unusual. Fifth, get it professionally graded. This is how you confirm the real value, because one small detail can change everything. And here's the truth most people don't realize: valuable coins are still out there. People spend them, lose them, or forget them every day, which means your next coin could be your biggest discovery. So before you ignore another penny, take a closer look, because the 1951 wheat penny might not just be a coin, it could be your chance at something incredible. Imagine this: it's your last day of checking old coins, you're about to give up, and then suddenly, you find a 1958 penny that looks normal, nothing special. But what if that coin is secretly worth hundreds of thousands, even close to $1 million? Sounds unbelievable. Well, today, we are uncovering the mystery of the 1958 wheat penny, one of the final coins in the famous wheat penny series, and one of the most surprising coins collectors are still searching for. Stay with me till the end, because what you're about to learn could completely change how you look at coins forever. Let's begin. The 1958 wheat penny holds a very special place in history. Why? Because it was the last year the wheat penny design was ever produced. After 1958, the design was changed, and the Lincoln Memorial replaced the wheat stalks on the back in 1959. That means the 1958 wheat penny is literally the end of an era. On the front of the coin, you'll see Abraham Lincoln. On the back, the classic 2 wheat stalks with 1 cent written in the center. Simple, iconic, and historic. Now here's the interesting part: millions of 1958 pennies were made. So most of them are not rare, but there is one version of this coin that has shocked the entire coin collecting world, and that is the famous 1958 double die obverse wheat penny. This is where everything changes. A double die error happens when the coin design is accidentally stamped twice, slightly misaligned, creating a visible doubling effect. On the 1958 penny, this doubling is clearly visible in the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and even in the date, 1958. Now here's why this matters: because only a very small number of these double die coins are known to exist. Some experts believe there are only a few genuine examples in the world, and because of that, collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for one. In fact, one of these rare 1958 double die wheat pennies has been valued at over $200,000, and even approaching the $1 million range, depending on condition and demand. Yes, from just 1 penny. Now imagine this: you find a 1958 penny in your house. How do you know if it's the rare one? Here's what you need to check. First, look closely at the text. If you see clear doubling in the letters, especially "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," that's a huge sign. Second, check the condition. If the coin looks almost new, with strong details and shine, its value increases dramatically. Third, check the mint mark. Most 1958 pennies were made in Philadelphia, so they don't have a mint mark, but even without a mint mark, the double die error is what makes it valuable. Fourth, examine the edges and alignment. Any unusual strike or design shift could indicate a rare error. And finally, if you think you found something special, do not clean the coin, and get it professionally graded, because cleaning it could actually reduce its value. Now let's talk about normal value. A regular 1958 wheat penny, in circulated condition, it's worth around 5 to 20 cents. In uncirculated condition, it can go up to $1 to $10 or slightly more. But the real treasure is in the rare error version. That's why collectors call this coin one of the most unexpected million-dollar pennies. Because nobody expects the last wheat penny to be the most valuable, and here's the twist, many people still don't know about this coin, which means, some of these rare pennies could still be out there, hidden in collections, jars, or old boxes, waiting to be discovered. So before you ignore that old coin, take a closer look, because the 1958 wheat penny might not just be the end of a series. It could be the beginning of your biggest discovery.